Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on mascara-gate and talk to you about why I feel like it's more than just makeup. So, yeah, if you're here for that, if you want to know my opinion, then just stick around. I feel like I look orange in the viewfinder. Hopefully I don't. So if you're unfamiliar with mascara-gate, I don't know how you are because this literally made Time magazine. Time magazine. It made the US tabloids. This was bigger than what people want you to think about. So if you're new to this and not really sure what I'm talking about, a very famous TikToker named Michaela Nigera, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, did a partnership video with L'Oreal. It's been probably almost 2 weeks now for their new telescopic something mascara. In this video, she puts on a coat of mascara to show you how to use the wand. Then it cuts to her coming back, showing the length, and then you can tell that she's added on a false lash. This is all alleged, but mascara will give you length, mascara will give you volume, but mascara will not grow you lashes. And a lot of people were calling her out and saying that she was wearing Ardell Wispies. And this literally broke the beauty community. Everybody and their dogs was reviewing this mascara. James Charles did it. Jeffree Star did it. Manny did it. Laura did it. Tati talked about it. Like, all of these huge influencers from all of the Dramageddons came out and talked about it. Michaela disappeared for a whole entire week and didn't come back. And when she came back, her first video back was a huge joke about it. So Michaela is very huge in the beauty community. She is the go-to person in the beauty community because she has almost 15 million followers on TikTok. She has probably close to that on Instagram. She kind of blew up on TikTok during COVID. So last year alone, she made over $2 million from sponsorships, content, all of it. Now, TikTok doesn't pay you as much as you make here on YouTube. In fact, everything I've heard about TikTok is you barely get any money from it, kind of like Instagram Reels. So she's not making her money off TikTok. She's making her money from brands who want to work with her. She's done 2 palettes with Glamlight. It'll be interesting to see if they work with her again. She's done a bundle with Glow Recipe. She recently just went on a brand trip with them. I mean, are we back in 2016 with all these brand trips that kept popping up? I don't know. I have questions. So she is a major driving force in the beauty community, and a lot of brands go to her so she will showcase their product. If you've heard me talk about Kama Cosmetics, they blew up because of Michaela. Like, when Michaela recommends something, it can make a business boom. It can also make a business not make very much money. And there is a video, I will try to remember to link it down below, where someone talks about how she shit-talked a product from an indie brand before even using it, and that literally caused the brand to lose a ton of business. And I think it was over swatches. Michaela was like, it's alleged that she's using Vaseline on her arm for these swatches. It's this beautiful palette. And the lady literally had to make a TikTok of her washing her arm and then putting on swatches because Michaela wouldn't recant what she said. And it was clearly a lie. So there's that. She's been embroiled in a lot of controversy and hasn't taken accountability for any of it. And I know there's people out there who say they hate cancel culture, but there's a difference for me. There's a difference in cancel culture and accountability culture. And for me, I want creators who misbehave to be held accountable for their actions. That's not always possible, and a lot of times that's out of our hands, aka, James Charles, where that's basically illegal. And so sometimes that's out of our hands. But as a audience, as a consumer, we speak with our views and we speak with our pocketbooks. So there's been a lot of pushback from a lot of TikTokers and a lot of Michaela's followers about how this is just makeup. It's just makeup. It's just mascara. It's not that big a deal, blah, 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 blah. But it is. And it's more than makeup. We're talking about people's livelihoods. We're talking about a brand that literally broke the law. Michaela herself broke the law. This was completely false advertising, which is against, is it the FCC? I can never remember if it's the FCC or the FTC, but neither one of them will let me be. And if you know that reference, we're friends. Hold on, my hands are dry. So, yeah. So it's more than just that. But as far as Michaela goes, she completely made a joke out of the whole situation, and she hasn't taken accountability. She hasn't apologized. And it's a huge issue. She has a huge following. And if I were to guess, I don't know her demographic, but I would guess her demographic is mostly like teenagers, maybe early 30s. So she has a pretty huge demographic that is in, I'm going to say, probably in a wage, fiscal grouping of, probably minimum wage, possibly more depending on where they are. We have an In-N-Out here that pays literally, when you start, you make $17 an hour, and their managers make into the six figures. So yeah, they can make some bank. But if you think about it in terms of, let's say, minimum wage, I think federal minimum wage is what, $7.50? It hasn't gone up much since I was in high school. I made $4.25 an hour. But that mascara retails for almost 15 bucks. All right. So you're watching this review of Michaela putting on this mascara, and she comes back with the most full, luscious, long looking lashes, and you're like, that's beautiful. I want my lashes to look like that. I'm going to go, put some on the inside and go pick up this mascara. Well, if you're someone who's making minimum wage, and minimum wage is like $7.50, that's 2 hours of your work day to pay for that mascara. If you're lucky enough to make $15 an hour, that's 1 hour of your hourly wage to purchase a mascara. So if you're relying on a TikToker's review and you see how this works and you're like, okay, that's absolutely gorgeous, and then you go buy it and then it doesn't work for you, it's a waste of money. You're literally taking some of the only money that you have. You're taking an hour out of your workday, or 2 hours of your workday, to purchase a product that someone lied to you and said it worked one way when it doesn't. It's false advertising, and false advertising is against the law. And I don't remember what video I talked about it in. I think it was maybe Oh My PN, where I'm like, this is more than just Michaela too, because not only did she didn't disclose that it was an ad in the correct way. She didn't do what she was required to do from the federal government here in the US. She got a lot of flack for it. She's still getting a lot of flack for it, but she's also getting praised for not mentioning it, which we'll talk about in a minute. But as I mentioned, I don't feel like not enough heat has fallen on L'Oreal. So this was their partnership with her. This was a sponsored video. And you guys, I'm just estimating, right? I don't know anything other than estimating. But I were to guess, for as famous as she is, and I use famous loosely, she probably made $250,000 to $500,000 for that 15-second video. Just kind of take that in to your body. Was it 15 seconds, a minute? $250,000 to $500,000. And again, I'm just guessing here, but for someone her level of fame in the beauty community, that I'm going to guess that's what she made. I'm going to guess. And again, it's a guess, but I'm going to guess that's what she made. So she made that much money just to lie to you. She didn't have to put on those wispies. She already got her money. It's not like this was affiliated, and she only made money depending on how many she sold. I don't believe that's how this worked for her. So there was no reason for her to put on the false lashes unless she wanted to bring more attention to it. I mean, that TikTok has like almost 50 million views. 50 million people have watched her lie about a mascara from L'Oreal. L'Oreal hasn't said anything about it, and Michaela hasn't said anything about it. In fact, Michaela's first TikTok back after 7 days was "We all know why we're here" in her fake Massachusetts accent, supposedly, and then went on to talk about Valentine's, and she hasn't addressed it at all. At all. And again, I'm not saying she needs to be canceled. I don't think she should lose her career over this. But this was not an innocent mistake. This was a calculated move on her part. This wasn't an innocent mistake. This wasn't something like, oops. No. This was calculated on her part. She wanted to make it look the best. Why? I don't know. Because it looked pretty damn good on the first coat. So you have an audience who are, again, I'm going to guess her demographic is probably 12 years old to 33 years old. I'm going to guess. These are all just educated guesses. And again, that is an age bracket or an age group who probably isn't making a ton of money, and they're going to her for honest reviews, and they're not getting that. And that's why a lot of people are excusing all of the bad shit that Jeffree Star has done in his life. Oh, he gives honest reviews. I'm going to watch him because he gives honest reviews. He ain't honest about nothing else in his life, but God forbid he doesn't give an honest review. Well, I could do a whole 45-minute video just on Jeffree Star. Don't get me started. I'm just kidding. Him and James Charles. Oh my word. So there were a lot of big people in the beauty community who called Michaela out for this, about how it's false advertising. I know Raw Beauty Christie did a video. Kathleen Lights mentioned it. Manny and Laura talked about it on their podcast, but we'll get back to that in just a second. But it was like, you can't lie, you're making everybody else in the beauty community look bad. And again, this goes beyond makeup. Now you're messing with people's livelihoods, because if you're someone who is an influencer as your job, your paycheck depends on views and how popular you are and how many sponsorships you can get, etc., etc., etc. So for me, it goes beyond makeup. And again, like when you are spending 2 hours wage or, an hour's wage on a mascara, it's more than just makeup. And again, for L'Oreal, who has not addressed it either whatsoever, when you do a sponsorship, for the most part, when you do a sponsorship, you film the video. And this is why I had such a huge issue with Juvia's Please. You film the video, you send it to the brand, and they review it. And I have a friend that gets thousands of dollars in sponsorships, and for like 3 or 4 friends who are doing really well for themselves. And they've all said this is how this happens for them. You film a video, you send it off to the company, and they normally have like a public relations person or somebody who works with influencers, their marketing, and said yes or no, or change this. Can you say this instead of saying that? And you make these little changes, they approve it, and then you post it. So someone at L'Oreal watched this video and saw that Michaela, number one, didn't disclose that it was an ad or a sponsored video or that she was getting paid for it. Number 2, they didn't say anything about her having lashes on. And number 3, they haven't said anything about it. And Michaela's not the only one who had this paid partner. They're a L'Oreal partner. That L'Oreal partner equals I am getting paid by the brand to share this product with you. And I'm not saying everybody, but I would say probably 90% of people who are doing a sponsorship, even if they don't like the product, they're not going to say that. Especially when you're getting paid $250,000 to $500,000. Again, I don't know that for sure, but I'm going to take a guess that that's what she's making. So again, it goes beyond makeup. And then you have these younger influencers going, it's just makeup. Everybody lies. What's the big deal? She lied. Big deal. It's a huge deal. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that that's what you need to do. On television, they have to say that someone is wearing false eyelashes. And L'Oreal was already in a lawsuit, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago for this mascara or the similar one for false advertising then. So it's like we've been here before and it doesn't make any sense. So again, it's just more than makeup. And again, it's resurrected James Charles, it's resurrected Jeffree Star, and I don't want to go back to 2016 where everybody was getting in drama to drum up sales. So Manny and Laura talked about this on their podcast, how they were the OG and blah, blah, blah. And Laura talks about how Michaela didn't disclose all of these things. And then Dustin Daly did a video about how just in the last 2 months, Laura has done like 4 videos that were sponsored and she only disclosed one of them. And again, in the US, it has to say ad or sponsored above where you have to click more. So, and he showed on several of her videos, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom to see that it's a sponsorship with whatever brand she's promoting or that the links are affiliated. And all of that is supposed to be disclosed. So this was a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black. And again, if you're going to, the whole reason why this kind of like influencers blew up, Jaclyn Hill, etc., is because you feel like you know these YouTubers, number one. You feel like you've developed this relationship, and some people even consider them friends, etc. So you feel like you've built trust in them. And especially when they were reviewing makeup, especially before people were getting PR or people were getting paid sponsorships to review makeup, you were getting people who did a lot of reviews. Hell, Tati did it 7 days a week for like eight years or something, spending her own money until she started getting sponsorships, etc. So there wasn't this veil of secrecy. And when it started to have that veil of secrecy and people started catching on to people, influencers, not disclosing, it kind of blew up. It blew up. So Sam, who was here from the Tea, she's since passed away, but she did a video basically exposing affiliate links and how when you clicked on a link under, I think she talked about Jaclyn for the most part, Jaclyn Hill's video, and it said, the Morphe 2 palette or whatever. When you clicked on that link at the top, it went through something like Restyle, our style, which meant that Jaclyn was getting paid if you use that link. Now, sometimes it's if you use the link, sometimes if it's you make a purchase, but these influencers can make a huge bank depending on what you do with that link. And no one was talking about it. It's more than just makeup. So again, to see these younger influencers basically be okay with lying to their following about products just to become famous is just, it's irritating, number one. And number two, it's just, I feel like an old person going, back in my day, like that's not the generation that I want to be raising. That's not a value that I want to instill in these young people, that, you can lie and you can become famous. And if you think about it, and I've said this before, TikTok is sensationalized. Like the girl with the Jones Road, and she used half a scoop of the jar and put it all over her face and then had the gall to say that Jones Road sucked. I believe, and I could be wrong, that she was another one of these L'Oreal partners that didn't disclose. And she had gone so far as to wear mascara primer on her eyelashes. If you look at her video that she's using that mascara in, her eyelashes are white. So once again, L'Oreal has approved a video of someone not just using mascara. And I don't think L'Oreal's been called out enough. And again, it's not cancel culture. It's you need to be held accountable for these people that you're hiring to lie for you, which is against the law. And then she shows her 24th birthday. I don't know if that was before or after, where L'Oreal had basically sponsored her birthday party. People on TikTok want to be famous, and they will do anything that they need to do to have a video go viral for that to happen. So I guess the moral of the story is teach your kids not to lie. I'm sure you're great parents. The moral of the story is it's not just makeup. It's people's livelihoods. It's people's trust. It's people's integrity. It's, putting... I mean, again, it made Time magazine. Time magazine. This is a huge, big deal. It's huge. And who knows what kind of laws she may have broken in the UK. I don't even know how that works when you have people watch you in the UK. Because I know they are way stricter than the US is. But at the end of the day, it's not just mascara. And it's not cancel culture, but she needs to be held accountable. L'Oreal needs to be held accountable. All of these other influencers who didn't disclose, etc., need to be held accountable. Because how can you trust someone who hides the fact that they are being paid to talk to you about a product? How do you trust that person to be giving you, the full story? And for Michaela there was no reason she should have had to cut to a second clip to apply a second coat. No reason other for her need to put on lashes. And again, a mascara will help you lengthen them. It'll help you kind of clump them together to create more volume. Maybe it'll help you curl them, but it's not going to give you more lashes. That's just not how that works. The Grande Lash Serum will do that, and that works well. But that's not how mascara works. So, as I mentioned, at the end of the day, it's not just makeup, it's your hard-earned money. You should be able to find people who will give you an honest review. And like I said, I just don't think going to TikTok is the place to do it. I just don't. There is not one person who I've seen who is on TikTok that I would trust to tell me that a product is good or bad. And granted, I'm not on there. Like, I don't want to be on there. I have no desire to be on there. I already have too many other things that suck my life. I get wrapped up in books. And that's enough for me. So that's the whole deal with Michaela. And then a few weeks ago, Michaela went on this rant about drama channels talking about her fiance's addiction. So her boyfriend, or fiance, I guess I should say, is a recovering addict. And I don't know who talked about him. I don't know. I only watch a few drama channels. But Jaclyn Hill chimed in to talk about how there were several drama channels that were awful to her late ex-husband. So Jaclyn was married to John Hill, who was an addict through their whole entire relationship. And he ended up passing away from an overdose a couple of years ago. I believe it was an overdose after they had already divorced. And at that time, there wasn't a single person in the beauty community or a single person in the drama community that said anything awful toward John and his addiction. But she ran with that lie, and not only did and it was under Michaela's picture, so not only did Michaela's supporter go and hassling drama channels, but Jaclyn's did as well, and there was no truth to it whatsoever. So as for Jaclyn Hill, we now know that she has lied the entirety of her career, basically. Since she started working with Morphe, since Morphe came within her life, she has lied over and over and over and over. She lied about the lipstick. She lied about owning her own company. She lied about being the only person that has stakes in it. She lied about so much in regards to Jaclyn Cosmetics. If you want more information, go watch Jen Loves. I haven't watched her whole video. I've seen bits and pieces talked about on the internet, but she went through all of the documents from this Forma and Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics bankruptcy. And Jaclyn Cosmetics is 100% owned by Forma Brands. 100% owned by Forma Brands. And Jacqueline has stuck to the fact that she is the owner and the creator and the CEO, and she's not. She lied about that. Lied about the lipsticks. Lied about quality control of the lipsticks. Lied about the white gloves of the lipsticks. I honestly think, so from what the information we've learned, is Morphe had the components and the lab had the formula. My guess is Morphe had the components. They didn't clean the components before they put the lipsticks in. That's my guess. That's my guess. But you also have this lab that got in trouble for having pets in it. Like, it's not a good lab. It's not a good lab. And Morphe knew that and went back and got another product from them. Shady. Shady AF. So a couple months ago, Jacqueline came out with this lifestyle brand called Cozy. And it had been, she'd gotten a comment, I don't know if it was on Instagram or her YouTube. It must have been Instagram because I don't think she's really posted on YouTube. From a lady or influencer named Kaylin Nicholson, I believe it's Nicholson, who owned a brand called Cozy. And she asked Jacqueline to change her name. Because as of then, her brand Cozy was what came up SEO #1 when you searched on Google. And she knew that if Jacqueline came out with this brand, that it would push her out of the algorithm, etc. And Jacqueline never responded to her. She went ahead with this brand. So it made Kaylin completely have to get rid of her brand, the brand that she built on her own. Jacqueline claimed that they searched the internet and didn't see anybody with the same name, which we know has to be a lie if Kaylin was coming up first. She went ahead with it, said this was her legacy, what she always wanted to do, blah, 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 blah. So she starts this Cozy brand, and then Kaylin has to completely shut down hers. She just had a baby, all this other things. Jacqueline never talks about it, ever. Never speaks about it, never talks about it. Launches this brand, and you guys, I think this brand has been around now for 3 months, and they have not updated the Instagram, and they have not updated the website since the initial launch. So she started this brand, she allegedly knowing that this name, and there was a brand already called this, and yes, Kaylin should have trademarked it, for, I almost said universe, globally, when she only did it in her, in Canada. She should have. Yes, I get that, I do. But Jacqueline had to know that this existed, and she took it anyway, and then has done shit with it because nobody wanted her $150 robe. And that was the other thing. She mentioned the prices before the launch, and the prices were basically double when she launched. That girl, I don't think she can say anything honest, which is unfortunate. And again, it's more than money. She's like, she does these Amazon favorites. The only reason why she does Amazon favorites is because they're affiliate links, and she's probably making millions of dollars a year just from Amazon, but she doesn't disclose that they're affiliate links. She said she's been online for 10 years, and the only thing that she has learned is that people are awful. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. You are a multi-millionaire because of your followers. You would be nothing, absolutely nothing without your subscribers. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You would be nothing. You would still be in Florida, probably doing makeup at a Mac counter. Maybe you would have branched out into, doing makeup as a full-time job, but you wouldn't be where you are today. You wouldn't be in a mansion. You wouldn't be, driving $500,000 cars. You wouldn't have that life without your subscribers, and yet she continually lies to them over and over and over. And it's just irritating. She's even lying about a cat, you guys. A cat. A kitten. She's lied about it. And it's like, Jacqueline, just tell the truth. Why are you lying about a kitten? She says she's deathly allergic. But it started out that she didn't want it in the house because she had dogs. But she's deathly allergic. Yet she holds it and she pets it. But she kept it out in the garage when Tampa was getting below freezing. And she addresses that. She addresses that, but she hasn't addressed anything about cozy. And every single day she gets millions, I shouldn't say that. She gets tons of comments asking her to address it. And then there's the whole thing that she's buying followers over on Instagram. I mean, that girl's a hot mess. She's a hot mess. And I just don't understand why she just habitually lies. She just habitually lies, and it's more than makeup. It's more than makeup. So again, I could go on and on and on. I talked about a lot of brands. I think Jacqueline Cosmetics was one of the brands. Morphe, another one of the brands. Forma now. I mean, the poor Playa woman who is suing them because, you know, she was guaranteed this much money and they didn't even promote her brand, etc., etc. I mean, it's just a mess. The beauty space can be messy. And it's not fair for consumers for you to be lied to, for us to be lied to. It's just, take some balls, man. Take some balls. Especially when you can be proven to you. When people can prove you're lying. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, like I said, I'm not saying cancel culture, but people need to be held accountable for their actions. If you are doing something that you should not be doing and it's affecting other people, you need to be held accountable. I don't think she should lose her career. I don't think she should lose her followers. I don't know that she should lose partnerships going forward. It really depends on if she discloses, etc. But she needs to be held accountable. She needs to at least own up and say, hey, look, I did it. I was stressed. I was busy. I was blah, 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 blah. I apologize. Won't happen again. You know, your faith in me and your trust in me means a lot. I want you to be able to trust who I am and trust my word, etc., etc. Could easily address it, but hasn't. And it's just, I don't know. It's just gross. It's just gross. It's so gross. It's so gross. And that is why I have very few people in the beauty space that I watch and agree, like listen to the reviews. Teresa's Dead is one of them. Angie, who's Angelica Nyquist, is another one. Who else do I watch? Some of you. Alex, I listen to Alex when she does reviews. I don't know. It's just so different. You can really tell, if you go back and watch older videos of some people, you can really tell when they were purchasing some stuff themselves and then when they started receiving PR, because a lot of people will definitely sell out and push product that they either don't like or, only like a little bit, etc. I got reached out to a brand. Listen, I have 1,000 people. That's it on both platforms. And, hey, Misty, we like your look. We have a whole eyelash, we do these magnetic lashes. Would you be interested in being a brand ambassador? And I wrote back and I said, I would love to try your lashes before I say yes or no. We'll see if I hear back from them. But I don't consider myself a review channel. But if I try something and I don't like it, I'm going to tell you about it. It's just what I'm going to do. And you don't have to, I don't have affiliate links, and I'm not saying people shouldn't have affiliate links. Get your coin however you get your coin, okay? Just be honest about it. Just say, hey, I have a link in the description box below. Please know that it's affiliated. I make a small commission, but it helps the channel, blah, 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 blah. Whatever spiel you need to say to let people know that, hey, I'm getting paid. It takes a second, and it's not that big a deal. I'm going to say I do side-eye people who do like HelloFresh. You're a makeup channel and you're doing these food. Okay, whatever. Get your coin. I can skip through it. I don't use HelloFresh. They don't have keto-friendly food, low-carb-friendly food, so I don't use them. But I side-eye that. But again, as long as you're honest and upfront with what you're doing, I don't care how you get paid. If this is your job, if you're working this as a job and not a hobby, then get your coin. But be honest about it. Don't sell out. Your integrity is literally the only thing that you have. That's it. And once people lose faith in you, once people lose trust in you, it's damn near impossible to build that back. I think Nikki Tutorials is doing a good job of that. she, like, for a year, every video she did was basically an undisclosed partnership video. And it was discovered, and she lost, subscribers, she lost followers, and people were like, I can't trust you. I don't trust you. And she figured out a way to be transparent, and she's regained followers. She's regained trust. And I think it took a lot of work for her to do that, because people just got tired of being sold to. That is honestly why I stopped doing. Okay, we're just getting off course, Misty. I was in an MLM. I did Stampin' Up, which is a craft company. And say what you will about MLMs, they can be predatory. You really have to be in the top 5% to make any money, blah, 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 blah. But I got tired of being a salesperson. I got tired of pushing links. I got tired of pushing classes. I got tired of pushing people to sign up to be a demonstrator. I got tired of all of it. And I am an awful salesperson. If my mouth doesn't say it, my face is going to say it, right? I'm awful at selling. And I just started feeling like every single one of my videos was an infomercial. Just pushing product and pushing people to buy and pushing people to sign up. So I would, promote, and I would make more money. And even though the most I can make was 30% of my business. Again, that's a whole story for a different day. But yeah, all you have is your integrity. I don't want to feel like you are lying to me, or you're being deceptive, or, like Christy said, I don't want you to go out and buy a product that I've said is good, and I actually didn't like it, and then you use it and it doesn't work the same way. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see, like, the divide of people who are like, absolutely not, you cannot get away with this, and people are like, unbothered queen, this is how you do it. You're an unbothered queen. She shouldn't be unbothered when she broke a lot of laws and basically lied to 50 million people now. So anywho, that's my opinion. At the end of the day, it's just my opinion. Again, I don't know if all of this is true. I don't follow the tick of the talk. I do follow some channels who I trust and listen to in regards to beauty, drama, etc. And you just, at the end of the day, allow yourself to be influenced, but be smart about your purchases. And if you have, read the comments. A comment will tell you, if you see 15, 20, 30 comments going, why are you using a filter? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Trust. And James Welsh, who is Robert Welsh's brother, he does a lot of videos on Instagram versus reality, I think is what he calls it, because his major in college was photography, marketing, etc. And he can literally show you when a person is using a filter or a person has done Facetune, etc. And even like James Charles, he's talked about how now he doesn't Facetune his pictures quite as much. And he got his feelings hurt because people were like, you looked better when you your makeup skills look better when you Facetuned your face. So it's just, I don't know, the whole TikTok phenomenon is interesting. The whole influencer, again, it's all about, it's all about the shock value. Like with the KVD Good Apple Foundation, everybody's like, or the L'Oreal Powder Foundation. L'Oreal has done this several times. Now listen, there are a few things from L'Oreal I really like. I'm loving this Infallible foundation. I love the Lumi True Match Lumi Glow Primer. Love that. What else do I love from L'Oreal? I got a couple of lipsticks that I really enjoy. What else do I own from L'Oreal? I've got a couple of foundations that I enjoy. So there are some products that I enjoy from L'Oreal. But I don't want you to lie to me. You don't have to be deceptive about it. I don't know. Sensationalize. That's the word I was looking for earlier. It's for me, TikTok and even some reels is just sensationalized to try to go viral. And sometimes going viral works out and, you know, you make hundreds of millions of dollars. And sometimes going viral means you have one video that's successful and then that's it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just weird, man. I've seen some, I've seen some videos where it's like Gen X, because I'm a Gen X, I'll be 45 this year. I believe I'm Gen X. It's like, you know, they're dangerous because we grew up latchkey kids, you know, drinking water out of a water hose, basically raising ourselves. We were around for the start of the internet, so we got to be smarter, like all of these different things. And it was like, holy crap, I was alive when the internet began. You guys, I was chatting in chat rooms in like 1997. I was online dating in like 1997, 1998. And I can remember my mother's telling me that I was going to get sold as a sex slave because I was online dating. Like, I literally never met a guy outside of being online. I never met a guy. Huh. Rob and I met in a chat room. So I did the online dating thing for years, but it's like, I can remember being in my first chat room and I can remember having my first email address and I can remember when you couldn't find shit to buy on the internet. It just wasn't as vast as it is now. I mean, I remember when Google started. So yeah, anyway, we really got off tangent on this one. How long have I been talking? 40 minutes. Lord Jesus, help me. Help me, please. I just wanted to get my thoughts out of my head. You know what I mean? Like, I've talked to you guys about, you know, brands that have been behaving badly. That's why I am pissed at Juvia's Place, because someone totally reviewed that video and left the slur in. I don't know. It's more than makeup for me. It's more than makeup for me. It's just your integrity, being honest. I think a lot of people want that in a person, that because parasocial relationships are weird. You know what I mean? Because like, you could watch all of my videos and feel like you know me and we're friends, or maybe you watch my videos when you're going through a hard time and I help you out, you know, those kinds of things. And then there's this kind of relationship that is formed, whether it's double-sided or not, where you may view me more of a friend, you know, or you may have more faith in me or trust in me or turn to me more often because maybe I helped you through a hard time, or you've watched all my videos from the very beginning and you feel like you know me and we know each other like that. So I think that's kind of how that started. And for all of Morphe's bad shit, they really were the first people to really, them and Makeup Geek were really the first people who leaned heavily on influencer marketing. And for Morphe, it worked for a while, but then they got too big for their bridges. And they partnered with some of the shadiest people in the business. And look what happened to them. So yeah. Anywho, that's my 2 cents. Actually, it's probably 25 cents. 25 cents in the cuss jar, Misty. But yeah, so again, I'm not saying that, you know, you shouldn't buy the mascara. I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust Michaela. I'm just, you just have to be smarter about it and realize, and for the people who are saying this is just makeup, realize that it's deeper than that. It's really not just makeup. It goes way further than that. And if you're someone who's making minimum wage and, you know, and you have to be very selective about the makeup that you buy, try to find someone that you really, really trust. And someone, you know, that may have the same skin type as you, someone who may like the same kind of formulas as you do. That's what's kind of crazy for me about Teresa, because I watched Teresa is Dead. Number 1, she's a plus size girl. Number 2, she's got a potty mouth. And number 3, she's pretty spot on with her reviews. We only differ when it comes to Nomad and Glamlight. She loves Nomad and hates Glamlight, and I am the exact opposite. So those are the only 2 things that we really differ on. She's been right on foundation. She's been right on other eyeshadows. She's been pretty spot on when it comes to blushes and those kinds of things. And we've liked and disliked the same kind of things. So I trust her, except for when it comes to eyeshadow. Like, sometimes she'll talk about eyeshadow, but she and I have had the same issues with Natasha Denona. I haven't tried Pat McGrath, but she's had, you know, similar issues to other people with Pat McGrath. So at the end of the day, you just have to find someone that, you know, you agree with and trust with, and just go from there. And look to smaller rather than larger. I mean, Teresa is like I think she's close to 70,000. So she doesn't have a huge following. She has enough to get, you know, some sponsorship. She's done some collabs with Lethal Cosmetics, etc. but she's not so huge that, you know, she's getting sent thousands upon thousands of dollars of makeup a year. And I mean, when you've seen Tati and Manny and Laura do these huge unboxings, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product. I mean, if you sat down and calculated, I bet one of Tati's old unboxings was probably up to $1 million in product. Baby, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it's just makeup. Not to me, it's not. But anywho, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thank you for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't watched my Pan That Palette update for February, you may want to. You may want to. You may want to. Maybe. All right, friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at Misty Pans. I don't consider myself a review channel. Like, I'm not buying makeup to review for you guys. But I will tell you my opinion. I'm very opinionated. I'm a Taurus. But thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.